For sure I had seen it coming. But what can't love bear? The thought didn't arrive suddenly. It didn't interrupt anything. It settled quietly, like something that had been waiting for me to notice. I remember the afternoon it finally took shape, not as pain, not yet, just wait. I was standing by the window, the city below moving in straight lines, purposeful, unaware of me. My phone rested in my hand after the call ended. I stayed there longer than necessary, as if the moment could be reversed by stillness alone. It wasn't. I had known before then. Not clearly, not enough to confront it. Knowing came in fragments, messages that arrived later than they used to. Replies that felt edited. Pauses that lasted half a second too long. His attention didn't disappear. It just stopped arriving fully. When he looked at me, it was as though he already knew how my sentences would end. Still, I stayed. I had always imagined love as something decisive. Something that took space and demanded it. I didn't expect it to be quiet endurance. I didn't expect myself to become someone who measured affection in intervals. We met without ceremony. A bookstore, uneven shelves, soft music I never recognized. He stood in the philosophy section, holding a book he wasn't reading, staring past it like his thoughts were elsewhere. I said something unnecessary. I commented on the book, made a joke I didn't need to make. He looked up, surprised, then smiled slowly, like he was deciding whether to let me exist in that moment with him. "You read it?" he asked. "Twice," I said. He laughed. Low, unforced, and something about it made me stay longer than I intended. We talked longer than either of us planned. About things that didn't matter. About places neither of us had been. When we stepped outside, the sun had already lowered itself, staining the street warm. He asked for my number casually, like it hadn't mattered until then. That should have told me something. The beginning felt effortless. He noticed details. Returned them to me later like proof of attention. He remembered how I took my coffee, the words I avoided, the way I hesitated before answering personal questions. I learned the rhythm of his breathing when he slept, the scar on his hand he never explained. We lived entirely in the present, where the future stayed conveniently out of focus. Eventually, it stopped staying quiet. The first fracture appeared during a dinner that stretched too long. Candles burned low, plates pushed aside. I mentioned a trip I wanted to take months later, not as a plan, just as a thought. He hesitated. "That's far," he said. "So?" I asked. He smiled faintly. "We'll see. We'll see." The phrase lingered longer than the conversation. After that, everything ahead became uncertain. Plans softened into suggestions. Questions curved away from answers. Humor replaced clarity. I told myself it was fine. Told myself love didn't need definition. For sure, I had seen it coming. But what can't love bear? There were nights he held me like he was apologizing without saying why. His touch careful, deliberate, as if memorizing something. In those moments, doubt felt unreasonable. How could something this intimate disappear? And yet, it did gradually. He started leaving earlier. His phone stayed face down. Always close, never open. His explanations sounded honest without being complete. I filled in what was missing. Hope has always been willing to do that. I told myself I didn't need reassurance. That silence didn't mean absence. That wanting clarity wasn't necessary if love was real. At night, I imagined a conversation that would finally settle everything. A sentence that would anchor us. It never came. The ending didn't announce itself. It arrived on an ordinary afternoon. Light slanted through the room. Dust hovered in the air. He sat on the edge of the couch tying his shoes, already oriented elsewhere. "I might be busy this weekend," he said. "Okay." He accepted that easily. Too easily. "Busy doing what?" I asked. He paused. "Stuff." Stuff. The word landed heavier than it should have. I didn't ask again. I watched him leave. The door closed softly behind him, a sound that felt final without being dramatic. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't move much at all. I sat with the realization I had been avoiding. I was alone in something I thought we were sharing. For sure, I had seen it coming. But what can't love bear? After that, time didn't rush. It moved carefully. Messages arrived less often. When they did, they were polite, measured. I matched his distance instinctively, like it was a language I was learning late. When he asked me to come over one evening, the message light and casual, I stared at my phone for a long time. Something told me this was the moment everything would finally be said. It wasn't. His apartment looked the same, but it no longer felt familiar. We sat across from each other, speaking about nothing important. I waited. Eventually, he leaned back and sighed. "You know I care about you." The sentence stayed unfinished. I nodded. "But I don't know if I can give you what you want." "I never asked you to," I said. He looked relieved. Different places. No intention to hurt. Familiar phrases, carefully placed. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I let him believe this was mutual. Outside, the air felt sharp. I walked without direction, letting the city move me forward. Somewhere between streets, something shifted. Not pain, not relief, just awareness. Weeks later, I saw him again by accident. Or coincidence. He looked unchanged. Comfortable. Like someone who had stepped into a life that no longer required me. We exchanged pleasantries. He asked how I was. "I'm fine," I said. There was a pause. Brief. Charged. Like something else might be said. It wasn't. He smiled. That same familiar smile. Wished me well. I walked away before he could speak again. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I thought about how quietly love had asked things of me. How easily I had given them. How long I had stayed once I knew. For sure I had seen it coming. But what can't love bear? The question stayed open, unanswered, and I couldn't tell whether it was a warning or an invitation.